I'm going to be showing you how to exit a trade correctly using the HalfTrend strategy. With this strategy, it kind of gets a little bit confusing when to exit a trade. How do you know when it's okay to get out of the trade and not lose out on profit or lose too much profit? And that's what I'm going to be showing you in this video. Our get in area, right? We have our arrow appeared. We have the candle above the blue line. So we're looking at this candle right here, right? This signal will appear after the candle is finished. So like I say in the previous video, how you trade this strategy, you watch for the signal and you get in on the next candle, right? This is a potential buy. So we have our buy here. We got in on the next candle, we had some drawdown, and then we came up. Now, like I said, if you are in this for the short term, which I said is a couple hours to about 2-3 days, what you want to do is you'll ride this and you'll let it ride, right? You'll let it ride, and as you can see, if you got into this trade, you stayed above the blue line, you came into some resistance right here, and this should have let you know, all right, I see that this trade doesn't want to go up anymore. You can then get out. If you don't know how to trade support and resistance, I'm going to do a video on that as well. But this is a #1 indicator letting you know that maybe I should start looking to get out of this trade, right? But there's also other things that you have to look for, like, as you can see here, we're making higher lows, right? But yes, this was for the short term, which I said a couple hours to a couple days. And let's say you rode it all the way up here, that would have been a good 50-60 pips that you'd caught within a day, right? Within a day. Another indicator that you could look out for when trading short term is your second signal. And your second signal will always be opposite of your get-in signal. So the second signal is a sell, and you could choose to get out after this candle finished, which lets you know that it is an actual signal for a sell. Because you're trading short term, the next signal that you get can be your next get-in signal, no matter if it's originally a buy and then your next signal was a sell. If it's an accurate get in, you can get in on that signal, and because you're trading short term, you can catch your 30-50 pips within a day or two. That is the good part about trading short term, is you will always have the next chance to make some more money, right? When trading on a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart for the scalpers, if you prefer to be a scalper, you can use this strategy as well. So scalping on the 5 or 15-minute, this strategy works the same exact way, and your get out point is the same exact way. So let's say this is the 5-minute chart, and let's just say each one of these candles is 5 minutes. You get in on your candle, you ride it up a couple minutes, maybe an hour or two, and then you see your next opposite signal. You can go ahead and jump out of that trade. Also, because you're trading on a lower time frame, you can let your trades ride out a little bit longer, because these signals will appear a lot more. The more lower the time frame is, the more these red and blue signals are going to show up. The higher the time frame is, the less these signals are going to show up. So on a 5 or 15 minute, you can either choose to jump out when you see the next signal. You're probably catching maybe 5 to 10 pips on 5 or 15. 15, I'd say you're probably max, you'll probably catch about 30 pips max, right? So also 5 or 15 minute, you can hold your position, right? You can hold your position exactly the same way I'm gonna tell you how to hold a long-term position. Now that we have went over when to get out on a short-term trade, trading the HalfTrend strategy, let's go over what do we need to know when we're trading long-term with the HalfTrend strategy. So right here we have a proper get in, right, on this signal, and we got in on this candle, right? Got in on this signal and we got in on this candle. Now, when you are trading the HalfTrend long term, it is best that you learn support and resistance areas, as well as you want to milk this as much as you can, because you are in a long-term trend, or you're looking for long-term results. So I would say long-term would be a couple days to a week, and you can hold it for longer than a week. I haven't held any of my trades longer than a week, but you can, and this is going to be a really good example on what happens when you hold your trade for longer than a week. All right, so we got in on the next candle and we're riding it up. Now, as you can see, there was no drawdown on this trade at all, and a lot of these signals you will not see any drawdown or little to none drawdown. Okay, like you will see very little drawdown on these signals sometimes, if you catch the right setups, right? So we're in this trade, mind you, this is the hour time frame, and we're riding it. Each hour is each candle. It takes time, you know, you got to be patient when you're trading, especially if you're trading long term and you're not scalping, right? You want something a little bit more fast paced, you might want to look into becoming a scalp trader. So you're holding this and you're holding it. Here is an example of a support area. This is what I mean by you want to know where your support and resistance areas are, because they can help you identify exactly what's going on in the market, right? So if we would have marked this area down as a resistance area here, right, we're bouncing off of it here, and we are bouncing off of it here as a support. So because we are seeing this as a support zone, it's resistant turned into support, we can assume that this is going to keep riding up, and that's exactly what it did here. It kept riding up, you know. Same thing here. You want to just, when you see consolidation happen in the market, the good thing about consolidation is if you're already in profit and you start to see the market is consolidating on you, your profit is going to stay around the same range for, you know, a couple hours. At that time, you want to find out what type of zone you're in. Are we in a resistance zone or are we in a support zone? And you know, from there you can determine if you want to stay in this trade a little bit longer or not. So we got in the trade here and we recognize this support zone here. This was about 1, 2, 3, about 3.5 days, 4 days that you have been in this trade, and you're in this trade in profit. If you was to exit here, you would have exited this trade in profit, right? But let's say you decided to stay in because you see that it is a support area. You stayed in and you continue to let it ride, and as you can see here, it went the full, you know, let's look at what it looks like all together. This trade went for a while in the uptrend. When trading this strategy long term, the best thing to do is identify your support and resistance areas. That will let you know, hey, do I want to stay in this trade longer, or is it time for me to get out of this trade, right? Also, a really big indication that that you could use when trading long term is, are we closing below the cloud? And here, as you can see, we are starting to close below the cloud. This would be an automatically jump out of the trade. Here we do have a little bit of closing below the cloud, but like I said, if you use support and resistance indications, you would have stayed in this trade longer. Any other questions about this strategy, about anything at all, maybe how many pips you need to be catching in whatever time frame, or how many pips should your stop loss be, I can give you a ton of information on this strategy. I've worked with this strategy in and out. I developed it, or I would like to believe I developed it, you know, putting all these indicators together. But yes, that is all for this video. Hopefully this helped you out. Hopefully you can make some really good profit with this strategy, trading it long term or short term. All right, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.